All right, this is one of the most popular books out right now, and it's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. This is part of chapter 1. Really love this book, even though I'm just starting it. But I thought this section was interesting, and the rest of the book will determine whether or not I think this is actually true, whether or not it's true. So he says, I began my journey of self-improvement. I came across a myriad of different teachings, studies, methods to help people overcome their problems, read dozens, if not hundreds of books, studied psychology, went to therapists, listened to many different thought leaders, tried changing my habits, waking up at 4 a.m., changing my diet, becoming more structured, disciplined, shadow work, studying personality types, meditating daily, on and on and on. He says, you name it, I probably tried it. I was desperate to find the answer. I wanted to know how to stop suffering. Some of these things did help me improve incrementally, but didn't stop my suffering. I still always felt extremely anxious, fearful, unfulfilled, irritated, angry, frustrated, on and on. I felt purposeless, hopeless, directionless. I mean, this is a pretty big list, I've got to admit. So you think about this frame of all this overwhelming and then coming into the answer. It says, it wasn't until I was in my darkest hour that a glimmer of hope began to lead me to the light. All of a sudden, after years and years of searching, I stumbled upon one of my first mentors who taught me how to become a coach, and he revealed to me the answer of how I can alleviate my own suffering. Now, this is just my thought. My thought could be completely incorrect, but notice how much searching he did outside himself. I read books. I went to therapy, all external, and then stumbled across one person that did what? How I can alleviate my own suffering. I think that's the key. I think all the answers are already inside of us. And there's nothing wrong with reading a book. There's nothing wrong with watching a video. There's nothing wrong with gathering ideas. But everything that we read is based on somebody else's experience, somebody else's life, somebody else's insight, somebody else's wiring, somebody else's intelligence, somebody else's emotional makeup. It's all based on them. And as long as we're following somebody else tells us to get up at 4. Somebody else says that we need to meditate. If it's somebody else and it's not this inner guide, if it's not this inner teacher, the reason I think this mentor helped so much is that I think he was able to see himself. And he probably saw a lot of himself in the mentor. That when we see ourselves in someone else, it makes sense. It's when we're looking and hoping that that's an answer, that it doesn't really work. What works? Alignment. Alignment to the inner truth we already know can end suffering. Alignment with someone else who's very similar can bring some end of suffering. But we'll see what the rest of the book holds. Don't believe everything you think. And tell you what, I don't. And don't believe what everybody else thinks either. Be blessed.